I can hear you too, but they can't hear us.
Oh, I have to figure out how to share this one.
See if I can get this done right. 1, 0.
No.
That's special.
You know, we look so professional on this film.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
No, it really is good.
Thank you.
Yep. And then when we get live, it's like, who the hell are these people?
What the hell is going on here?
It's broadcasting.
Yay! I'm glad we can see each other too down here. That's pretty cool.
Hey, okay,
Yes.
it's not so A.M.O.K. This thing is actually working kind of better.
Woohoo!
Hi everybody.
I'm
We're running a new program, so we're all learning. So yay!
Yep.
But that's not the only problem with tonight. Well, first off, we go with the first problem tonight. Hey, Ken, it's your week.
Moi? Oh my gosh, it's my turn.
Yes, it is your
Ah.
turn.
I almost forgot how to do this kind of stuff. It's been like 4 or 5 weeks. Anyway, hey guys, it's Mo week. I'm supposed to let everybody know what's going on in Mo.
Mo.
Nothing.
Mo.
No.
Nothing.
No. Mo.
Nothing's going on.
No, Mo.
I have a
It's
list here.
It is frozen up there, and nobody can do anything right now.
It's the
right.
Arctic tundra
Correct.
around here right now.
We don't have a whole lot of snow yet, but it's snowing right now, and 11 degrees, -3. So the weather report's over. Mo happenings. Here we go. Central area. And apparently this is going on for quite a while. It's called the Herman Wurst and Bacon Making Classes.
Oh yeah.
The owner is Mike Sloan. Great guy. I've met him. Used to hang out there quite a bit a couple years ago. He is a Hall of Fame Wurstmeister. I love that name.
Wurstmeister.
Yeah,
He's the worst.
He is the worst. Yes, the Wurstmeister. So anyway, the Herman Wurst House is also a great German restaurant. It's in Herman, Missouri. And if you want to sign up for any of his classes, I'm just going to say the phone number right here, 573-486-2266. And I don't know if it's either Saturday or Sunday, but they have a breakfast brunch or a buffet. Oh, it's
Dude, that
wonderful.
sounds wonderful.
It is beyond wonderful. Okay,
But you say this thing is
it's kind of like ongoing.
how to make it? I mean,
Yes.
so you go in there with like a pig and
No, they already have that part of it. They
okay.
teach you how to make it, and I'm not going to go the other one, but they teach you how to make stuff, and
Stuff, okay.
and you get to take a lot of it home. So it's pretty cool thing. Okay, so that's central area, Southwest Missouri. April 4th through the 6th, we have something called and if I'm pronouncing this wrong, sorry guys, I'm going to call it the Gillioz Jazz Festival. Gillioz. Again, it's in April, the first weekend of April, looks like. Springfield, Missouri. For more information, you can call 417-863-9491. Okay, for all of our friends down in South Central Missouri, April 25th through the 27th, we have OzCon. Gaming.
OzCon.
The OzCon Gaming Convention. It's in West Plains, Missouri. It features gaming, cosplay, and anime. It's a convention. That phone number for more information and costs and whatever, 417-255 7917. This one I thought was hilarious.
Oh gosh.
Western Missouri, out towards you guys. It's called the Running of the Beds Race. It's on
Running of the beds
Running of
race.
the Beds Race, BEDS, like sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's on April 26th. Contestants of 5, so teams of 5, they build beds to race
Bed.
through the streets
Like the monkeys.
for prizes. It sounds pretty hilarious.
Okay.
I have heard of it
That's,
before.
Huh.
that sounds like a good photography moment. That
There,
sounds like fun.
there, there you go. I think it's in. I forgot right where it was at. I think it's Kansas City area, I believe, somewhere in that area. But they have music, they have games, they have pillow fights, and there's a parade. I think mostly for kids, although who knows. You want more
Kids
information?
of all ages, I'm sure.
There you go. Exactly. 90-year-old kids down to whatever. The phone number for more information, 816 946 8605. Apex Paranormal.
We lost his voice.
From us.
Hello?
There,
No,
okay.
no, you are.
Gotcha.
That
Oh,
was
no.
weird.
That was
Okay.
weird.
Should I start over on that one? Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
said we heard Apex Paranormal, and then you went bye.
Okay. Well, I'm back. April 26th, they're hosting an event at the Missouri State Pen in
Oh.
Jefferson City. So that's kind of going on. July 12th, I'm not sure who's doing this one, but the Glore Psychiatric Hospital in St. Joseph is having an event. Those two can be found on Eventbrite.
I bet you psychiatric hospitals all over the world have events every day.
I know, right?
I bet they do, and more than once per day also.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Again, out west. So this one is in Kansas City area. There is the Missouri Paracon 2025. That's at the end of this month. Actually, not this weekend, but next weekend, February 28th through March the 1st. It's at the Ameristar Casino in KC, Kansas City, Missouri. Lots of big names are going to be there and activities. I'm hearing, or what I saw on the prices, it's going to be challenged to some people. I'll just put it that way. But if you need more information about that one, you can go to MissouriParacon.com. And that one again is February 28th through March the 1st. And if you want to know where I got all my fun information here, I went to visitmo.com.
Nice.
So
Visit Mo. Hey, Mo.
visit Mo. Hey,
Hello, Mo.
Coily. Yeah, there we go. So that's the fun stuff that I could find. I was only allotted 4.5.7 minutes.
Huh. 4.5.
Well, you can go on for another 50 minutes because here comes the second part of the problem.
Oh,
Second part of the
okay.
problem.
Oh,
is-
now it's
is our-
Missouri week too. Oh,
Our guest, I don't know what's going on. Hopefully nothing's wrong. Maybe he just forgot, but he's not here. And so therefore, I don't know if anybody could wing a show as well as we can wing it because we can wing it pretty good.
Yeah, we
So we
can.
come in here. we wasn't sure until just before I hit live that we wasn't going to have a guest. So here's a question I've got.
okay.
Now, I'm kind of old school as far as my paranormal investigating goes. I use my camera. I use a quality audio recorder
Mhm.
and video. That's it. But you guys use all different kinds of equipment. Well, I guess Pam, I don't really see you use a bunch of equipment. You got your
I got
it's on
Spidey
paper
senses.
kind of. Yeah. Spidey senses. See, I have no Spidey senses.
You got the
So I
woo
figured-
woo.
I got the woo.
So
I
what I
use
want
other
to know
stuff too,
is, let's talk equipment because there's a whole bunch of equipment nowadays that I've seen in use, but I'm not exactly sold on. One of the ones, Ken, you swear by, and that's the spirit box.
Mhm.
any
Yep.
type of communication equipment like that. I now also have something new, an S box that I'm going to try to start playing with, but same thing. But I have 3 different versions now. I have the Spirit Box SB7.
Mhm.
I don't like the 11. There's too many bells and whistles. It's like, no, I just stay with old school or older school.
Yeah.
So yeah, SB7, I've been using it for, oh my gosh, 9, maybe 10 years now. Have some great conversations with it. I also have, oh my gosh, what did KD make?
Oh, I can't remember what he called it, but yeah,
Uh,
that's the one I
It's
want to
neat.
have.
I've got
Yeah.
that. I've got that little red box. One of the first ones that he made about
Mhm.
6, 8 years ago. I can't think of what it's called now. Oh, Nanocom. I have the Nanocom, and that's just basically it's Spirit Box, basically FM, and the um, uh, I guess the contacts go. They jump around. They're sporadic, so they don't go in one direction. It's just jumps forward, backwards, and just all over the place. FM dial. Had some really cool conversations with that as well. SBox I haven't really used yet, but I'm going to be using that probably this Sunday at a private investigation I'm doing at one of our stores.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah?
Yeah, so this will be the.
Nice.
I think this will be the 1, 2, 3. It's either the third or fourth. No, fourth or yeah, third or fourth store that I've investigated now. I'm the controller for them, and a bunch of old stores. It's like, hey, we're having weird stuff going on. Can we do a fun thing for the employees? That's what I do. So I go out and teach them a little bit about it, and they get to wander around with toys and you
How
know
cool is that?
implements
Very
of
cool.
destruction. Where they can fight with the little dowsing rods. Because I've got like 4 or 5 pair of those now, so they're
That's
walking around. I
awesome.
said, "Don't run in the dark with them."
I
Yeah,
want to get some
No.
dowsing rods. That's
very
one thing I
important.
don't have.
So yeah,
Kenny's got some, so she's been having fun with them, so
I love
trying
them.
to
now
get
I
it
her
like the
down.
cat
uh,
ball too. I like to have the cat ball when it's like just sitting there doing nothing for
See,
hours.
that's one of those things that I can almost get behind. I don't have any. We do have some, trigger objects and stuff like that and toys and try to get them to move, and I think those cat balls would be much easier to move, uh, so no different than using any kind of ball, but
Yeah.
I do like that. I could see using those things.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because you can
I
even
the
just
pro
barely touch it and it'll go off. Well, no,
y
I can't say barely touch it because I've tried to barely touch one and it didn't just go off. But you can nudge it and it'll go off.
yeah,
So
a lot of them are
if a
very.
spirit
Go ahead.
is trying to push it, you'll see.
says, "Have you tried a color spectre cam that can be seen in infrared?" Now,
Mm.
I did have a, a full spectrum camera, uh, and it died on me, but it was one of those little cheap ones because I wasn't sold on it. I didn't wanna invest a bunch of money into it, and,
Yeah.
uh, but, uh, but yeah,
You
you have
almost
to
have
still have
to
to
with
have some
those
kinda
though.
yeah, in order for those, you have to have a UV light going on, and that just kills your vision. So,
Mhm.
Mm,
It
I don't
does.
know.
Yeah.
I just most of the equipment that I've tried through the years, since 2006, since when I started, I just haven't been able to get in, invested in. And like the spirit boxes, I've I can't. I don't know if I just not registering with me, because people say they're getting the words out of it, and I'm like I'm not sure I'm sold on that. And I got the from Digital Dowsing, I got the Paranormal Puck, and it's got one that you could type in, and it's supposed to give you
Yeah, I
it's
remember
supposed to
seeing that one when we went to Ralph. Not Ralph. Was where was it? It was that museum up in
Ray County.
Oh, Ray
Ray
County?
County. Yeah.
Ralph County?
so it just kind of yeah.
That's
I
the
like that.
neighboring one. That's the neighboring one to the north.
Oh, okay.
That's
Sorry.
But we
But
got it
yeah,
and tried that at the hospital, which we knew is all really haunted, and I never got anything that I was like, well, that's amazing. Everything seemed coincidental, which is what I'm always afraid of is the spirit box. I have a hard time and it's not really much
Well,
investment because they're not that expensive, are they? I mean, you
no,
can get some that are fairly expensive, but you can go,
well, the way I deal with it is, and yes, you can get a lot of false positives on it, and just a lot of garbage words that are coming out that make no sense. But the thing is, if you tap into something or someone that wants to chat with you and actually starts answering the questions, and you can carry that beyond one question, not just a yes or no. Like, what's your favorite
Um,
color? Blue. Well, do you like red? Yes. What's another favorite color of yours? Yellow. And just continue
yeah.
that conversation string. That's what I really focus on, is trying to I get an answer. I go, okay, let's take it a step further. What's my next question? To follow up on what their answer
well,
was.
I think his biggest thing is the way his hearing goes. He can't hear through the
What?
chit 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 chit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I
would
know
make a
there's some
difference.
words that I can't hear either. That's why I
Yeah.
love listening to KDs that didn't have that. It was
Right.
just words coming through.
That's
Mhm.
kind of like a
Yeah.
portal, I think they called
Yeah,
it, or
portal box.
something like a portal
I
box.
Portal
love
box.
those.
See,
Or a
I'd have
paddle
to see
box.
one
I
in
think some
action.
people called them a paddle box too. I
Yeah.
think.
I'd have to see that in action. I've not even seen it. Is it on shows and stuff like that? Because
Oh yeah.
I guess
KD actually
okay.
had some
That was on the
examples.
yeah, what was that? Oh my gosh, I can't think of it. The TV show he was on not long ago. KD with
That one
oh
person.
yeah, with the other
That one
guy.
person.
Yeah, there were like, I think there were like three people in the thing, and KD was the one that made all the equipment for them. Oh, I can't think of the name of it. I'll think of it later. Sorry.
Yeah,
Just
like
cutting out,
that
Bruce.
actual portal box that's been selling for over $1,000. Some people have been selling for over $1,000, but KD's only selling his, I think, for like 500. And that's
See, that's my
mostly to
problem.
cover. That's
$500 is the lens for my camera, and I love that.
yeah. Well, I love the portal box. I would love to be able to afford the portal box because it doesn't have the on it, so you
Yeah.
can just hear the
Yeah.
words.
DIY
And
porta box. So here I am looking into on Google.
he 3D
No,
prints his though, I think.
Yeah, most
yeah.
of
And
the stuff is.
that's why because it lasts longer when you 3D print them.
Huh.
They're
So do you
sturdy.
think
They're
Pretty cool.
sturdier.
Yeah. Makes sense.
do you think your woo woo abilities help you with the ghost box?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
How do I explain it?
I remember when we were in when we went to Missouri State Pen and we were out
Uh-huh.
at the cemeteries, and I was riding with you,
Okay.
and you had your spirit box in there, and there's like seems to be one spirit that hangs around with you a lot that
Uh,
talks to you through and kind of, I don't know, is he kind of like an interpreter maybe? You know,
could be.
an ambassador? I don't know. Kind of a way in between you and whatever might be in the area.
Could very well be. I know that recently, which would have been during that time for the past almost 3 years now, I know my son's been hanging out with me.
Yeah.
So he's kind of on the other side, and he's pointing me in different directions, or I'll hear his voice every once in a while, which sounds weird, yes, but it's very true. And when I was on I think I showed you a photo,
You did. Yeah.
that imaging, or that thermal photo that he send. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. They usually
Yeah.
they
He was
usually
talking
do.
about
They usually do.
the Amityville house is as a bed and breakfast now, and it said send Ken as bait. So
Yeah,
you're loved.
yeah. I've been bait for about 12 years now, and I'll go sit in there. They'll say, "Ken, go sit in this room." Okay, fine, and we'll come back and get you. 2 hours later, they forgot that I'm still there. Um, but anyway, but yeah,
I have
I
not done that to you.
no, no, you haven't. You've actually sat there with me on the wing in the end of that one hall, whatever it was, at the hospital. So no, yeah, it's been pretty crazy. But yeah, I do. There are some entities or beings or guardian angels or whatever you want to call them on the other side that do help me occasionally.
Mhm.
And for some reason, it's so weird because they'll just throw names into my head. It's like, Robert. Is there a Robert here? And if a person's there, they'll go, "How the hell did you know that?" I'm like, "I don't know. It
Yeah. Yeah.
popped in," and I get that a lot, which is pretty amazing. So yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, Adrian, yeah, I do have, I think, some help on the other side that they kind of steer me in the right direction. But then again, I also can feel. I may not be able to see them all the time, but I can feel kind of like where they're at. And are they even anybody? Is there anybody here? And if they are, where?
Yeah.
I may not know exactly, but it's almost like a ghost bait, ghost magnet kind of thing too.
Yeah.
So,
So
and I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, I mean, if
Seriously.
you're looking for ghosts, it's great to be able to,
Yeah.
And I
see
don't,
that
Yeah.
they're
I
there.
don't, I don't run away like some of the TV people do. It's like,
No.
oh my God, there's something!
Mm.
Ah, run! It's like, what? You're
No,
here to
members of my
find
team
them.
know.
Yeah.
Members of my team know if you start running, just keep running and don't come back because you won't
Yeah,
be on another
exactly.
investigation.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Pam, you're woo woo too, but you're not woo woo forward, right? You're not because I never really hear you talk about it. So how does it come to you?
It depends. I use dowsing rods a lot, and it's more as a way to focus that for me. It's a
Yeah,
focus thing for me. Um, I don't know. I hear stuff is my big thing. And we found this out in a cemetery one night when my group first got together. This was like in 2012. We were in this cemetery that we were basically practicing as a team. We knew that this
yeah.
was a particular cemetery that was haunted. And so we were going to go out there and practice and kind of get to know each other and how each one of us investigates.
Hmm.
And there was the little boy's name was Carl, and he was out there, and we were in that area, and I can't remember exactly what the conversation was, but we talked to him for a little bit, and I would like, I can hear him, I can tell you what he's saying, and they were like, okay, whatever. And when we got ready to leave, I heard him go, "Don't go." And I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh.
you guys, he just said don't go." Really sad. And they were like, "Oh, you're crazy," kind of thing. And so
You're
we walked off and
crazy.
everything. And everybody, all of us had voice recorders with us. And when we got back, Mike listened to his first and he was super excited. And he calls and he's like, you hear Carl say, "Don't go." And then you hear Pam say, "Oh my gosh, he just said don't go. Did you guys hear that?" I was the only
Yeah,
one that heard, but
Oh.
I heard it,
but you heard it,
I
heard it.
heard
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And nobody else did. But that's happened quite a
Uh,
few times. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a
Um,
good question here. Well, statement Polar Nights is saying must be scary being a ghost and aware you are a ghost. Are they aware?
Most of them are.
Yeah, Carl was for sure. Majority of what I don't think we've really ever ran into any ghost that didn't know they were a ghost
I
Yeah,
that
have.
I know of. Have you?
you
Yeah,
have.
I have a couple times, and they didn't even know they were dead. Turns out that the one we ended up having, it was a group of us chatting one day, metaphysical type meeting up near Springfield, Illinois, several years ago, and apparently I picked up a hitchhiker on the way to the place,
Ah, nice.
to the home, but he was supposed to be there with us because he knew one of the people in the group. But he didn't know he was gone. And we ended up tapping into his spirit. Actually, out of the 9 of us that were in the room, I think 3 or 4 of us tapped into his spirit, and we discovered who he was. And the one of his best friends who was in our group started crying. He knew exactly who it was, and
Oh,
the
wow.
guy did not know he was gone because he was murdered.
Wow.
And my
Well,
and my
that's
friend
bad.
was one of the
Mhm.
ones that found him.
Oh,
Oh,
Uh, and
man.
according to the reports, they were told to the guy that we tapped into, he and another coworker were told to kneel down, open up the cash register. So the guy took all the money. There were two people there behind them, and they said, "You're going to be fine," but the one shot both of them. So
Oh, that sucks.
he did not
Wow.
know he was gone, and he was afraid to move. He was still standing in the same, basically, he was in the same position as when he died, and that was a long time ago.
Oh, that
So
So he's
that
pretty much
sucks.
frozen in a moment then.
in fear, he was
Wow.
stuck
Is
there in
he an
fear.
intelligent spirit?
Oh, we chatted with him, yeah, and we ended up watching him actually get wrapped. I want to say it was an angel came down, wrapped his wings around him, and then whisked him off because people were in the background trying to. We could see the people in the background through the doorway wave, and there was a family, trying to get his attention. But it was pretty crazy.
Wow.
Well, I
Insane.
just yeah,
Yeah,
that's
That's
insane.
crazy.
I mean, I've experienced some of those things, and I'm fortunate to be able to pick up some of these things. I've been given just an amazing gift that I don't say, okay, start, do something. I can't do that. It's just that things will come to me because I allow them to.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I'm
I
I'm
asked the Holy Spirit all the time. I said, look, if anybody's in need of some help, I'm open and I'm willing to help as best as I can. And I think the Holy Spirit has taken advantage of me a few times.
uh,
In a
but
good way. In a good way.
yeah.
Because I've been able
No,
to help people, friends, people who are gone, people who are transitioning from a coma into the afterlife.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, that just happened again about a week or two ago. So I can't talk about that one right now,
Yeah.
Oh.
no, that
but it's
it's
amazing.
yeah. I don't know. Being able to deal with or seeing things, I don't trust spirits, so
Yeah.
I'd have a hard time just
Well, you have good
opening
reason.
myself
No,
up.
You have
I
good
got you.
reason.
So
Well, yeah, but I'm trusting the Holy Spirit, though, in my mind, that I'm not being deceived. I ask for discernment all the time. Um, I've been in some situations where it's like, I don't feel comfortable. Just like the phone call I had this afternoon by that doggone Yahoo person. It just kept,
not from Yahoo.
yeah, it just kept,
Mm.
these voices kept popping in my head. Just hang up. I'm like, no, I'm going to have some fun. So I did. You know,
That's awesome.
kept the guy on the phone for 15 minutes, wouldn't give him any information. It was great. So,
My
What
husband does that all the time.
but but anyway,
Yep.
we'll go back to our chat tonight. But
so
oh, and
so
the
you hear things, right, Pam? You did you hear things like at the prison?
Clairaudient. Yeah, yeah. Well, not so much. I don't like it. So I turn it I don't let it in a lot.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But now
Yeah.
when we were at the prison, something that I've never really had an issue with was emotion hitting me. And when we were in the gas chambers, I got hit with I had to get out of there. I had to go outside and sit because it was overwhelming. And I don't know if it was just the situation and realizing how many people had actually died right there that didn't want to die.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if it was that more than anything, but it seems like if I try to listen, I don't hear. But if I'm not trying, it's more likely to come through. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
That does make
totally.
sense.
Because that's happened
absolutely,
to me quite a few times. And I never claim to be woo woo,
Mm-hmm.
but I've heard stuff and
Clairaudient is what it is.
yep. And I mean, look at just what happened the other night with us on the show. That was not something that was expected. And that
That
happened on
was
your
weird.
side.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
So it was weird, but I've heard like a voice here say "mommy" when my daughter was really little,
Mm-hmm.
and we thought it was her, but she had just left to go with her nana, and we go up front to see, and there was nobody there. It was just me and my husband.
So did he hear it
So
too, or is it just you?
he did, but he'll tell you no.
I
He
understand.
heard it, but yeah, I've heard whistles here. I've heard my name. So I've heard quite a few things here, and whenever we go somewhere, like whenever we were going to to that hospital that we could no longer name, that one, I mean, I felt like I was friends with the spirits there because every time I went, it felt like they're calling me freak was an endearment. So
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
It wasn't, yeah, it wasn't meant to be mean.
yeah, but no, I mean, I've also had, the dreams of my cousin that I talked to Ken about that one time,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and I haven't had any lately, but I've been seeing dragonflies pop up, and his birthday was just passed, so
Mhm. There you go.
I
So,
don't know.
but you're not woo-woo at all.
Mm.
See, neither am I. But
Well, you
I've
are, but
heard
you don't
the
accept it.
disembodied voices.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
Now
been
we've
told that, Ken. I've been told that I just don't accept it. I think somewhere in my subconscious, when I started having kids, my brain just went, nope.
yeah,
Mm.
shut it down.
Yep, gotta protect the kids.
We've been places where I've heard disembodied voices along with other team members, you know, because
Oh
that's
yeah.
why I'm always like, "Hey, did you guys hear that?" And if they did, they'll, yeah, we did. But there was a time, there was a house here in Caney, and Jess and I were sitting at the kitchen table, and so I was like, "Hey, if I do shaving a haircut, can you finish it?" And so I do the dun 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 dun, and we're waiting on two knocks, knock knock, and we don't hear that, but we do hear a lady very plainly say yes. And so Jess and I are like, oh, "Did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that. Oh my gosh, that was out loud. I hope it gets cut on this." So we're excited and talking, and when we play the recorder back, you can hear her say yes, and you hear us get excited and talk, and we talked right over whatever else she was trying to say. So you couldn't hear that part of it.
That figures.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was a bummer, but so
Well, it's
we've
like
kind
when
of
we were
learned
at
to,
the Bell Manor and he had his spirit box out and he did the shave and a haircut and it
yeah,
said "Who pins?"
yeah.
Mhm.
So that was
Yeah, that was the second time that I've had that
mm,
happen to me.
I think that was the first time because I was hearing things that night.
Yeah.
I did listen in that night.
what? That's the night I heard the
Well,
hiss.
you
Yeah,
heard the hiss, and you actually saw the shadow figure walking
I
towards you
did. Yeah,
and actually bothering you.
yeah.
So, yeah.
That
It was
was
a
a
cool
cool
night.
place. That
You
Very
was
said
cool place.
2 bits, and
very
that's all.
awesome within 45 minutes. And that right there will really get you thinking about Scotty Rourke because he's the one that told me, he goes, "You still want to find something?" And I said, "Yeah, I would love to. I would love to, investigate this place by ourselves, not with so many people." He goes, "Go to the
Yeah.
basement. Go to the
Yeah.
basement
Yeah.
He
now."
was I was gonna say he was pretty adamant about it. Go to the basement
Yes.
now.
Yep.
So
He was
so,
spot on.
Yeah, he
yeah.
was.
And, boy, and those spirits down there started chasing us away too. "Go away, leave." I'm like, "Hell no." So we
No,
just
we're
got
They
not
were
here.
going
over it.
away.
I had to
They were
convince
over
them,
it.
and then by the time or 30, 45 minutes, whatever it was, they're like, "Well, thank you. Bye." Especially the little kid.
Yeah.
So,
Bye. She sounded so sweet. Or
what called me cheap when I tossed that quarter in the pile.
That's so funny.
that was hilarious.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, well, like you need it.
Polar Nights was asking about the telepathy tapes podcast. Have any of you guys listened to those yet?
No.
No, that's what he was asking
Fantastic.
me.
Totally fascinating. You need to.
He said I did because it was talking about
Yeah.
autistics and how they could use telepathy. Not telepathy. What was his
Telepathy.
telepathy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Telepathy.
Um,
Telepathy.
it's
telepathy. I was thinking
Right.
telekinesis. I don't know
mostly
why I was thinking
nonverbal,
telepathy.
Yeah.
mostly nonverbal autistics that use spelling boards and things like that to
Mhm.
communicate. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
See,
incredible.
Tina's on. She said she's heard voices as well. Once again,
Mhm.
and
Cool.
she, like me, is as sensitive as a rock. So
Mm.
we don't.
So you've heard the
But
disembodied?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
uh, uh, multiple places, not so
Well, you've
kinda
also had some
kinda
scary stuff happen there at the hospital with you
yeah,
and Tina and Anita.
yeah, and, that's just one of those things that, you can sometimes, the bumps in the night are you. So sometimes
Yeah.
it can
Yeah.
be it's not always a contact sport, so anyhow. No, it's but then again, okay, that's another thing is, bringing up the Anita thing. Have you ever felt threatened being woo-woo?
Once I felt extremely uncomfortable. Well, let me change that. Twice I felt extremely uncomfortable, and one time I was frozen in place.
Oh God.
I couldn't move because a skull had appeared in front of my face when I was taking a picture. And the only thing that I could do was yell, "Holy," and you fill in the blank for like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
really loud, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was a place, was a bed and breakfast. So, and then the other time was I kind of froze, not frozen, but I didn't, well,
Sorry.
I didn't move because I knew there was something menacing standing immediately behind my right shoulder. And I'm like, okay, I've got 6 steps in front of me. I've got, to go up to where our room was, our meeting room type thing. And then, or I could go behind me, but he's there. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go backwards. I could go left into the pool area, but that's where he came from. I'm like, no, this isn't good. So it took a good minute or two, and well, I said quite a few prayers. I said, okay, I'm ready to go in my head. And
Mm.
as soon as
Mhm.
I said amen, I took off up the steps, and that was it. I had no problem.
No.
I had no problems after that. And I was up
I've
and down
had
the hall all night. So
I think I told you guys before, we do an investigation up in Eureka Springs at a bed and breakfast, and not the Crescent or any of that. But when we were there, I just felt like something was mean mugging me the whole time I was there. And like I say, I'm not sensitive, so whatever there had to have been just really aggravated with me.
It was
And
probably, like, just
so
far from your nose the whole time.
yeah. so so I called up Anita for the second time that night. I called up Anita and I tell her what's going on. She's like, "There's something that doesn't like you." And for whatever reason, she couldn't tell me why it didn't like me, but she's like, "You might think about leaving, but I'm never a leaving kind of guy."
Right.
Like you said earlier, that's what you're there for, right? So
Yep.
we
mhm.
stayed.
You're
But the
there
whole
for that
night I
kind of
felt,
stuff.
yeah, the whole night I felt like something was just breathing down my neck. So
See,
But that
that's
brings
why I say there's a difference between ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. We're the paranormal investigators. I feel like the ghost hunters are the ones going to get, oh my God, and run out of the room.
well, if you're doing it for the excitement of it, then
Yeah,
of course
Yeah.
you're gonna get scared and run because that makes for a
yeah.
good story. I was so afraid,
Yeah.
and so
"It
we just
chased
had to
us
get
out of
out of
the
there.
room."
Yeah,
and that was a
yeah,
hell
no,
of an adrenaline rush too at that point. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
When
So,
we were
But
at
but
Missouri State Pen, Marcia and I were in the cell block, uh, and it's the one that has solitary confinement in it too,
hmm
okay,
in the dungeon.
A hall or something like that.
Yeah, and
what'd you
it
call
was
me?
just
Yeah,
Marcia and I sitting in where the chairs
I said
were,
scalp. Yeah.
and, we were talking back and forth, it's starting to feel kinda you're getting that heavy feeling like, it's trying to push you out of here kinda thing, and so we were just sitting there talking about it, and getting a little antsy and everything, and that was about the time Shauna comes in, and I don't remember what you said something,
I said, I'm
um oh,
here.
yeah, you said something loud, and it dissipated, whatever it was, so it was perfect timing, for you to come in because we were, like, starting to get a not panicky, but feeling that you really need to not be here right now kind of feeling, and
Mhm.
but the second that Shauna walked in, it was gone, and
Huh?
I'm
and,
just a ray of sunshine.
right? Absolutely.
You just
But,
a ray of
that was
sunshine.
a really weird that I'm not used to having major sensations like I had at Missouri State Pen, because I know that night I was like, "I'm not sure I ever wanna do another prison again because this is overwhelming,"
I'm ready to
and
go back.
oh, yeah, I'm totally ready to go back. Yeah.
What and what you
Yeah,
guys are
I'm ready to
talking
go back too.
and what you guys are talking about kind of brings up another topic, and that's one that I've been studying really for a long, long time. Is that people are saying people are TV shows, whatever. Some people say, "Oh my God, it's demonic." It's like, no, it's not demonic.
No.
If you're an
Spirit.
asshole in life, butthole in life,
Yeah,
you're a
no,
butthole in
that's all
death.
right. That's Tina. She said that. She says that all the time. You're an asshole in life. You're going to be an asshole after
Yep.
life. So
True, and that's
Yep.
true. But a lot of it, I mean, I've discovered that they have moods, and like
Mhm.
Shah, you're right. If whatever you're like now, when you pass over, whatever, you're the same. You're not going to change. It's the same attitudes.
Mhm.
So Pam, what they were using against you was intimidation because
Yeah, they
they knew
were.
they could get to you on that one.
Mhm.
Moods, a lot of times, it's not demonic. It's they're angry typically about something, and
And
that's
why wouldn't
why.
they be there? Especially some of them that
Especially
were
there.
innocent.
Yeah.
Well,
oh,
correct.
yeah,
That's
they're
that's
all
why.
innocent.
And that's why I
And
love the spirit box because I can try to get some of those answers or ask those questions.
Yep.
If I get a connection, I can see if I can keep the questions going for a while. How deep can I get this?
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
far can I go before they just clam up and I say something stupid, like apparently I did at what was it, Ray County?
Ray
Ray
County.
County, yeah.
Remember,
Oh.
I made, you came in and we're chatting with somebody. All of a sudden, I made whatever comment. I
You were
said
talking about the
one word.
the gas camps, not the gas
Oh,
camps, but
Auschwitz,
yeah,
Auschwitz.
Auschwitz.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mentioned Auschwitz, and then
the
it
gas camp.
was
Wow.
silent.
Yeah.
Hey, I
It-
had a Opa that died in one of the in
yeah.
Auschwitz. So
No, no, but I understand. But
Mm.
but you take it as far as you can. But then all you got to do is say the wrong word, and
Yeah.
it's done. That
yeah,
conversation is
Yeah.
now
they don't want to talk to you
over,
anymore.
and they
Well,
won't.
no,
And
he came back a couple of times after I asked a couple of questions, but he only answered like 2 or 3 of them.
but they talk to you more after I left that room.
Yep, they did.
So they just didn't. Apparently, there was something about Auschwitz, that word, that set them off. So, and maybe they had a close encounter with it. Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah. Could
So,
be.
but we don't know. That's why I.
Because you were sitting in the room that had all the military uniforms and things
Yep,
in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it might
Yep.
have touched a nerve somewhere.
Yep. Possibly.
yep.
So, but yeah, but moods. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
no, they whatever it was, that's the perfect word. They were trying to intimidate us and they didn't, but we were discussing out loud. Wow, it feels really heavy, like something's, trying to tell us to get out of here kind of thing. So, yeah.
Now on
So
the
they could
And
very
that,
hear us.
bottom
that's
floor where all the tools were on the wall. When I went down there by myself, I was trying to get something to come in, and I heard the footsteps over me. And I kept asking
oh
you guys, were
Yeah.
y'all going over, going out the door? No, nobody was going
That's
anywhere
where
over
the stuffed
there.
horse was, right? Down
yeah.
below.
Yeah.
That's a room. That's a room that Tina and I were in. That Tina felt like there was something there too. And I took like a
Yeah.
gazillion pictures, wonderful pictures of my beautiful wife, by the way. But
Yay.
in there, she was in there because she kept feeling like something was on her or by her, and but of course nothing showed up. And I don't think we didn't get any EVPs either, but she sure had that feeling like someone was there, that
Mm.
heaviness that something was
Yeah.
there.
So, which side of the
And
horse were you on though? Because the head was on one side of the wall, on a different room, and the butt
I
was on the
was
we
other.
were on the
on the
we were on
head
the
side
we
with
were
the
on the head
tool.
side
You're on the
with all
headset.
the
So at
yeah,
least
Where the
there was
tools
no.
were.
inside the room.
So there was no subliminal message on the other side.
No.
No.
Like, what are you? Some kind of horse's butt
And
or
I didn't
something?
even feel scared down there. I mean, I know there was a couple
I didn't
people that
either.
I've talked to before that felt kind of out of place because of all the tools there. That if they really wanted to do something, all they had to do is throw something off the wall.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah. I think I
I,
made that comment.
hmm I didn't feel any negative energy. I like I said, I didn't really feel anything down there. I just heard the walking above me.
So
Mhm.
we didn't hear anything. We just had that Tina had felt that stuff, and you can't psych Tina out. You can't tell her, oh, all this stuff, and she's like me. She'll walk in the room like, yeah, I
Yep,
don't get any of this
same.
stuff. And so when we feel something, we alert to each other and pay attention because it,
It
out of
Not
could
the
that
be an
ordinary
hard.
for us.
EVP or
Yeah.
something. Just like what happened to her headset when her headset went out and we heard that voice, and that voice was my voice, but you
That
could still
was
hear me
so weird.
talking.
So yeah, we had done a
Tina said it wasn't
podcast.
scary, so
Uh-uh.
No.
We did a true crime podcast on Shauna's EPP a couple weeks ago now, and same headphone, same setup, same everything. And we had gotten done, and we were backstage just talking, and my headset cuts out,
We
and
were
I'm like,
talking about Richard Grissom,
yeah, and I'm
and I
like,
said,
can
I
you
want to
hear
know
me?
where we can find the bodies.
That's
And right
right.
after that, your headset went out, and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of sounds like, what did he do to you? Or what did he do?
Mm-hmm.
But it was sounding like my voice coming through her speakers, but you could still hear me talking about what I was talking about because I was still going on.
And you can hear
uh,
kind of a bzz sound too. It's
Mm.
really strange.
And then you couldn't hear me through the speakers
No,
anymore.
not at all. Mm-mm.
So
No, I
it
had to take
was
my
really weird.
I took my headphones completely off and turned the soundboard off and just listened through, my regular speakers because it wasn't showing up anymore.
That's
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
it was weird. It was
It
weird. It's
was.
like,
This kind of reminded me of a episode we had. We were at the R Theater in Auburn at one of the potlucks or whatever years ago. Um, Unity conferences, basically, with Robin Terry, and um, he's got some memorabilia in the home from what's it, John Wayne
Ron Wayne
Gacy.
Gacy.
So,
Oh,
and
yeah.
every time we would potentially say his name within the confines of that building, Robin would have some medical problems.
Robin
So
can't go there anymore.
he lives there.
Well, I
Oh
know
my
he lives there,
gosh.
but he can't be there while you're doing anything to try to get
Correct.
Ron
Yeah.
Wayne.
So we didn't even mention the person's name, but we had there were four of us in the little auditorium, which is kind of like the makeshift theater that it used to be. There's like, I don't know, 24 seats or something like that, a stage. So I'm sitting in the back. There's three guys sitting in the front. They've got all this equipment everywhere in there, and somebody says we hear a little girl's voice. We actually hear, so we're all recording, and we got spirit boxes going and just all sorts of equipment. And all of a sudden, somebody says, "John, was that you?" And then we hear
uh,
I'm wearing headphones with my speaker and then my spirit box. I'm sorry, with my recorder and spirit box through it, and so I can hear everything that's going on. And all of a sudden, I hear, "Roar!" And then every piece of equipment in the room stopped working at the same time.
Oh
oh wow.
wow.
There was like 15 pieces of equipment, including mine. Mine lasted long enough to pick up the growl, and that was it.
That's crazy.
And I'm
That's
like,
kind of
so,
scary.
so it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, it's just amazing what they can do. Um, Another time I was at the Lamp Mansion, and my cousin was with me.
That's another place I want to go that I haven't gone yet.
My cousin was with me, and we
Same.
were videotaping through a single lens reflex, a camcorder type thing, so we could see. I had my ghost meter on the bed, the middle of the bed, and we see this little a little blob, kind of buzzing around through the screen, and it just went like this, made a couple of double dips and all that, and went straight down onto my meter, and the thing just went nuts, absolutely nuts. Top, beeping and flashing lights and everything, and we're like, oh my God, we've got this on tape. This is awesome. This is what kind of evidence? This is fantastic evidence. So we go back, and I take out the card later on. The card is full, absolutely full, but there is nothing there. Everything is black.
Ugh,
Uh,
The
that
entire like
that
10 gig,
sucks. Yeah.
10
that
gigs or whatever it was is nothing but blackness, no sound. But
just wiped it.
it's full. And it's like,
Wow.
Oh,
I'm like, really? So yeah, they can do all sorts of crazy stuff.
It's kind of like the Hinsdale house, though. Whenever I was pulling things off of the DVR system, I got to get a new one though. But anyway, with the DVR system, the top floors were wiped out. I
huh.
couldn't pull them. I couldn't pull them. They had
You know,
deleted.
We were at it was that same cemetery that we trained in again, and there when you drive up to it, you go down this long gravel drive to get to it, and at the top of the hill there's like a cattle garden things, and there's like this nature spirit thing entity. I don't know what it is for sure, but it's there a lot when we go out there. And it will walk along or run alongside your vehicle up until you get to the cemetery itself, and then it'll stop. And so Mike had got out his voice recorder, and he's like, I'm just going to leave this here while we go do our thing and come back and pick it up on our way out. And it's one, that it only records when there's noise. So he turns it on and he lays it on top of the fence post, and then we go do our thing. And on our way back, we stop and pick it up, and he gets it and he gets back in the vehicle, and we're driving out, and he's like listening to it, and then he's like, "Ah, man, this really sucks." And we were like, "What?" And he's like, "There's only like maybe a minute and a half recorded on this." And we're like, "So you got something?" And he's like, "Yeah, you hear me walk up and say, this is Mike, this is the date, this is where we're at, and I'm laying the recorder here. And then you hear me get in the vehicle, you hear the vehicle leave." And he said, not even 15 seconds later, you hear something move through the grass up to it, and you hear, oh, 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 and you hear, boop. Whatever it was came up to the recorder and turned it off. Completely turned
Have
it
you
off.
not listened to me?
Exactly. You're not recording me. Poof.
Right? Jeez,
Yeah.
rude.
That's awesome.
Totally rude. Oh, he was mad. And we
Rude.
were all like, "You're kidding." Yeah, but yeah, that's exactly what it was. Whatever
Oh,
it
that's
was,
why I
something
made a
came up and
habit
turned it off.
of going to check recorders that I lay down like every hour.
Which is a good idea, And
Yeah.
this was the one we just laid at the beginning of the entrance, to pick up on the way back out, just to see if he could catch anything. Yeah, we sure
Mhm.
caught something, but
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
it
pretty
wasn't
awesome.
happy about it. It was not
Got some
pleased.
aggravation.
Just
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I think I mentioned that about the Scott County Jail, last week or week before, whatever. And
Yeah.
same thing. I mean, I'd be going along and recording stuff. I was there for like 2-3 hours, and I would look at my I would look at my recorder every once in a while, and it'd be turned off. It's like, why? No reason. So I turn it back on, put it down, and walk away about 10, 15 feet, come back, be off again. And the only way you could turn it on and off is push the button. It's like, really, dudes?
So yeah, something was
You
messing with
just
it,
never
wasn't it?
know. Yeah,
Huh.
never know.
So I have a question. Have you guys
Yeah.
ever felt something there and tried to walk through it or go through it?
Yes.
I've had things walk through me,
Yeah.
and
Both.
that weird kind of sticky, cobwebby kind of
Yeah.
feeling. I've
Yep.
had that. Um, I think we've all had that. Every member of my team at one point. Tina had something go through her. Actually, went through her and another member of my team, and it was not that sticky feeling. It was a more solid kind of punch feeling as it went through her,
Mm-hmm.
and she felt that for quite some time afterwards.
Oh.
Versus that, yeah. So it had a
Got it.
lingering thing, but that was when someone was attacked. So it launched
Mm.
through her, through another one of my members, and then attacked the person. So
That's
pretty
We
I
wild.
interesting.
had
got sick, if that counts.
we
Yeah.
had
What?
I got
You got
sick.
sick?
Yeah,
major
at
feelings.
Ashmore. I was
Yeah.
on the top stairs, checking to see if all the group has gone out. And I was by myself, and I had that weird feeling that somebody was watching me. And then I got that feeling that I was going to get pushed down the stairs, and I kept saying, "Don't push me, do not push me." And I was gripping the stairs when I was going down. When I got down, I started feeling sick and nauseous. I had to lean over the rail. I was so just oh.
Tina says
Yeah.
she don't walk through stuff. She can help it. Yeah.
I don't anymore. Yeah. We
Well,
were at this one place, and Jess and I, there was something, we knew where it was. We had an idea of where it was, and we're like, well, we're just going to tag team it. We're just both of it going to hit it at the same time and see what happens. And we went forward, and it was like we hit Jello, and it
Oh,
was the
wow.
grossest, nastiest feeling. And both of us were like, yeah, we're never doing that again, ever,
yeah.
because
But
Wow.
that was
Tina,
You guys
disgusting.
were slimed.
Yeah, we
see,
were. That's what it
this is
felt
one of
like.
those things that Tina would be great in this conversation because, like she just said right here on the screen, says she had stuff to go through her on multiple occasions. At one
Mhm.
place, the concert house in Oklahoma, we were sitting at a table. I was sitting down on the ground. she was sitting at the table. Another one of the investigators was off to the side, and he said, "Did you see that? Something run across the floor." And then shortly after that, Tina felt like she said it felt like hands grabbed her knees and then come up and went through her gut, and
Oh,
then
Oh
she was
god.
like, she said it made her real nauseous, and
yeah,
yeah,
that's
at that
gross.
point she's like, yeah, don't
Gosh.
touch me no more, no more. Maybe
Oh
better telling that
man.
story, but next time we're together, you talk to her about it. It's pretty
Yeah,
wild.
I'll have
That whole
Yeah.
to. That's
investigation was wild.
crazy.
So
Yeah, Pam, I've had that a couple times. I was sitting in a chair up in Reading, Pennsylvania, old mansion up there, and apparently a spirit decided to sit down in the chair with me.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you can feel the static electricity. I didn't know what
yeah.
first time it ever happened. I'm beating me. I'm like, what the hell is all this stuff? I thought I was sitting in a spider web just kind of built around me.
Yeah.
And
I'm sitting here.
next thing I see is I think my picture was taken like 100 times with flashes because everybody
Oh,
saw me jumping around like crazy. So that
That's
was my
funny.
first one. That was crazy. Then I figured out what it was. It's the static electricity from the inside.
Yeah, well, that
But
makes sense. That
hmm.
that cobwebby feeling would be
yeah,
kind of like a
yeah.
staticky. Huh,
But
yeah.
let's take it a step further. Have you ever had a ghost hug? I've had
I don't think so.
4. And, you're working with some spirits or whatever, you're getting their story, which is awesome, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, they like what they hear, and next thing you feel this little bit of a pressure, and then you start freezing to death
Mm.
because and actually had twice they had temperature gun on me. My temperature dropped on one of them almost 40 degrees. And
Holy
Oh
another
cow.
wow.
and another one was like 30 something degrees. The other ones we don't know, but all I know is I was so cold that I was chattering. They had to throw a blanket on me, and I was still freezing to death. And I'm like, Thank you. Can you? I love it, but please
Go
let
away.
let go."
Yeah.
And
See,
yeah,
I never got a ghost hug, and I'm a good
I
hugger.
know.
So
well, you weren't good
that's
enough, I guess, Adrian.
apparently not. No.
That's so funny.
I'm single too, Adrian. That's okay.
And that could be it. Is
Uh,
that I
you're
did,
welcome, Adrian.
you know, cold spots. Cold spots are one of those things too. We can go in
Yeah.
down deep on that. I've only experienced one time that I would actually swear it was a cold spot, and that was a local home here that there was a pretty nasty murder in way back when, and I was in the room of the mother, the victim, and I was with another investigator, and next thing I know, I get this super cold feeling, like the air conditioner was on, blowing at my arm, but there
Oh
was no air
wow.
conditioning that was on. They had a window unit, but it was closed,
That's
no
wild.
windows going through it. But it was the craziest. I was like, okay, well, there is such a thing as a cold spot because there's no
Yeah.
other explanation for it.
Yeah.
There's no other
That's
way.
Right.
So pretty wild. I love what we do. It's kind of fun, and
It
It's so
it's
is.
neat.
interesting.
some
Every situation's different,
Yep.
you know.
Every
It seems
experience. I
yeah,
mean, a lot of things you have to experience for yourself
you do. Yeah.
in
Well,
order to
I do because I don't believe
understand.
it until I experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Adrian, you were just talking about, a sudden cold spot or a breeze or whatever that out of
Uh-huh.
nowhere. Anybody ever experience a strong wind like 15, 20 miles an hour for an extended period of time? Let's say maybe up to a minute or whatever, out of nowhere.
No.
Okay.
I've had that
Inside or
twice.
outside?
It
I've
does.
created
I've had
wind.
one of each. I've
Cool.
had one of each. No, no, no. I'm talking about like Ohio State Reformatory.
Uh-huh.
I've had it happen there. There were 4 of us. I think I mentioned this
Wow.
story a while back, but yeah, this wind came out, and we're in the middle of a building, no windows. This thing comes around the hallways and comes right across from us and goes up the stairwell, and leaves that room through the chapel into the chapel, and that was absolutely freaking amazing after an EVP experience we had had,
That's cool.
talking to some ghost that probably was stuck there for several hundred years. And then outside at another place at a college not too far from here, we're doing an investigation, and we're playing some music and talking about the music director who had died there years before on stage during a concert, died of a heart attack. And we were talking, we were playing his music, and about the last 30 seconds of the piece is when he died, or a minute or two, whatever it was, toward the end of the piece. And this wind came out of nowhere and encircled us and went right by the 5 or 6 of us who were
Oh,
sitting there
wow.
outside of the place, the assembly hall where he died.
Wow.
It's like, where did this come from? It's a beautiful,
That's
beautiful
cool.
day, and
Yeah.
this wind came out of nowhere and just kind of circled us, which was kind of cool. So have you guys
Wow.
experienced something like that?
I don't think
No.
so.
No.
Nothing like that. Do you remember
No.
you and Shauna breaking out in goosebumps at uh, Fort Wayne? What's the name of it?
Oh, Bell
Bell
Mansion?
Yeah,
Bell
at Bell
Mansion.
Mansion. Yeah.
Yes.
I have a
Uh,
Yep,
picture
both times
somewhere
we
of
did.
goosebumps on both
Yeah.
you guys' arms
Oh,
during
at
that.
That
I
was
had goosebumps
awesome.
there too, but not at the Bell Mansion. We was eating, and the food was so good. Anyway, hey,
Nope.
was
gotta
was
wrap this up.
was
It's
that
been
at
an
at
hour.
the table? Yeah.
Like I said, it's been an hour. Josh Hurd missed out on some great conversation.
Yep, he
We're gonna have
Hopefully
did.
to
we can get
try.
him back in
It's
We're
here.
gonna
gonna be
reach
going
Josh,
out. We're
out
gonna
next
reach out and
time.
have him on in the future. But hey,
Josh,
join us next week. Next week we've got we have what's her name? I have
I don't
Oklahoma.
have my
Melanie Brew, I guess that's how you pronounce that, and Michelle Domingue, Domingue, but we'll just say Melanie and Michelle
there we go.
from the Cajun Country Paracon.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's
cool.
going to be
Woo!
down, yeah. So it'll
That'll
be
be
cool
cool.
because it'll be in Lafayette, Louisiana, on April 12th, and
I used to go to
it's not an
Lafayette. That's
all-day
where I saw
affair.
Kiss.
It's only a
Nice.
5 hour. It's only a 5 hour deal, but it sounds like a cool thing, and that's what I want to do. I want to highlight the smaller cons that
Mhm.
don't get all the
Hype.
attention.
Hype.
So we're
Yeah.
going to talk a little bit about that with them next week. It should be a good one. And
Cool.
Yeah.
hey, and let's see if I can figure out how to end this show. Oh, I found it. All right,
Great
bye
Yay!
talking to you guys,
everybody.
man.
Good
Good
night,
Bye,
everybody.
topic, and good night,
y'all.
everybody.
Uh, that was good.
Was. These are always
It's really loud.
It is loud. Wow.
Let's see if it ends like it's supposed to.
Right?
Hey, I
I
do
like
like
the
this
fact we
because
can
it
talk
tells
to
you,
it.
yeah. And when
Oh, the
you
bar on the bottom?
look at the viewers, it tells you how many viewers are from where.
Yeah,
So where they're
where?
watching from. That's kind of
Nice.
cool. See if
Where
it
are you
ends
seeing
now.
that at?